Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought day one of the RLCS Major in Copenhagen was insane, you wouldn't even believe what happened during day two. So first, what happened in day two, right? So we had round three matches. We had round three, round four, and round five. But start off with the round three matches. And some of the matches were interesting. But I think the two most important ones that happened were the round three high matches, where you had one NA, one EU, one SAM, and one MENA. And these series were really interesting. These series were really interesting. And, the winners of these series would go 3-0 to make, first seed and second seed. And when you look at some of these matches, right, I want to show you, first of all, FURIA versus GenG. One clip from here. And I gotta say, this series is actually a pretty back and forth series. There was a lot of really good play from both sides. Both sides at certain times look like a phenomenal team, one of the best in the world, I would say, when they're playing their best. But a lot of this, like you see that save there from Lost. A lot of this series was, okay, FURIA figuring out how to shut down FK to not allow him to pop off. I think this whole entire series, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has an incredibly low shooting percentage. It was he scored one goal this whole series out of, like, I don't know, 12 shots, 14 shots, something like that. But people that were scoring were players like Jan or players like Lost. These guys on the pitch during this series looked incredible, and I think the way that FURIA were able to shut down FK, GenG couldn't really figure out how to shut down Lost and Jan. And honestly, both of them popped off during this series, and FURIA were able to get this win 3-2 to become the first ever team outside of North America and Europe to go 3-0 at an RLCS Major. So fair play to them. Fair play to them. They won this series. It was a great result for them. FURIA look like in contention for best in the world right now. I can't lie. I believe they got the second seed out of Swiss. Now the first seed out of Swiss are our boys and gentlemates right here. And now you gotta be thinking, like, wait, did gentlemates really sweep Falcons? And yeah, they did. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure how this happened. I was asleep, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get to watch this live. But, you watch back this series, right? And it's just like, okay, good save there, but, like, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. The reality is, right? The reality is all three players looked really good. I think right now, they got first seed was for a reason. I think they look like the best team right now in this whole entire event. You look at, like, FURIA, I think offensively, they probably have the strongest offense in the game right now, at least here. But I think Gentlemates look like the best overall team. I think that all three players play around each other so well, which is interesting because these are players, that kind of got kicked from their teams at the end of the last season. You had Juicy leaving Moist, you had Itachi off of KC, you had Seiko off of BDS, and they came together. They got picked up by this incredible org, Gentlemates, and they cooked, and they got the first seed out of Swiss, fourth seed from EU, but first seed out of Swiss. So hats off to them. They look amazing. They look like, again, in contention for best in the world. They could easily cook something up like crazy tomorrow. And I think those are really the real matches that were interesting from round three. But there was one more in particular that was kind of funny. Maybe not funny depending on who you're a fan of, but G2 versus Rule 1, game 3, going to over an 8-minute overtime, almost a 9-minute overtime. Rule 1, you think about historically, even though it's a different roster, they got the highest, the longest OT ever on a LAN. They tried to do it here again, but Daniel shut it down before even 9 minutes ended, and they were able to score this. But this game in particular, I believe G2 had, like, I don't know, like a 5% shooting percentage, if not worse. Actually, not worse, because I think they scored one goal out of 27 shots. So that actually ruined their shooting percentage for the whole entire event, and now their shooting percentage is, like, literally by far the lowest out of anyone. But it's interesting. If G2 take 27 shots, they only score one. You gotta think, like, can they compete against EU's best, against some of these better teams? I guess we'll see. And basically what happened there, let me show you the results from this round right here. You guys can see this, right? Yeah. So yeah, look at this. 8-minute OT. Crazy. But yeah. Overall, nothing too crazy. Luminosity swept Limitless. Elevate took a game off Pioneers. This game was really interesting. Sorry that's cut off a little bit. But essentially, KC almost swept Complexity. And then Complexity came back and tried to reverse sweep. But then KC were like, nah. KC were like, y'all are not reverse sweeping us, and then they iced up. So I mean, fair play to Complexity. I didn't expect something like that, so it was a good result from them. But overall, nothing too crazy here. Vitality swept OG, BDS swept Power. They scored 8 goals in the third game, by the way. But yeah. So the matches that ended up coming from this, I made a tweet, why do Luminosity OG have to eliminate each other? Yeah, some crazy matches here. Some crazy matches. I mean, GenG versus KC. Falcons versus Vitality. G2 versus BDS. Insanity. And then some of these matches are also pretty wild. Power versus Rule 1. OG Luminosity. Cole Pioneers. I mean, some of these matches I'm not going to show, so I'll just kind of say the result right now. I mean, Cole Pioneers, I think it was a sweep for Complexity, if not a perfect sweep. It was a very good result. Cole smashed that series. I think OG Luminosity, I don't think I have a clip from that. Luminosity ended up winning that series 3-1. Actually, a very close series. OG usually a tough opponent for Luminosity, but Luminosity iced up. And I gotta say, I mean, they swept Limitless. And then they beat OG 3-1 to get to the 5th round. They were trying to reverse sweep the Swiss bracket. And hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Now, Carmine Corp versus GenG. This was actually a pretty good series in my opinion. This was a pretty good series from GenG. I was impressed with them, especially this game 1, right? This game 1, you know. I was talking about FURIA when they played GenG. They were able to shut down First Killer really well. And the reason why you have to shut down First Killer is because look at this guy. Off the ceiling, gets the flip reset, and then into the top left corner. 4-1 in this game against probably arguably the best team in the world. I mean, when you can't shut down FK, this is the stuff that's going to happen. This is what's going to happen to you. And I can't lie. Luckily for KC, they figured out how to shut down FK. They shut down Chronic. They shut down Jack. And all three of them kind of clicked very well. And they were able to defeat GenG actually in straight games after this 3-1 in total series. So KC made it out of Swiss 3-1. Good result for them. I mean, you could argue it was a little bit underwhelming for them. They probably thought that they were going to 3-0 Swiss, and then they actually lose a series to Falcons yesterday. So, you know, you got to think about that. But they still make it 3-1. Still look like maybe best team in the world, like I said with FURIA, like I said with Genomates. But hey, it shows that they are human and they can lose. And hey, they might not be the favorites tomorrow. They might be, but they might not be. If that makes any sense. Now, BDS, G2, this was also a pretty good match overall. You know, I wasn't too disappointed with G2's performance, even though in the end, I won't lie, G2 did end up losing this series 3-1 as well. Just like GenG losing 3-1. But this series is a little bit different. Honestly, this series, I was very impressed with Exotic. You know, Exotic by far was the best player on BDS this past season. Online, but on LAN I was a little bit concerned. I wasn't sure how Exotic's gonna show up. Sometimes he shows up on LAN, sometimes he doesn't. But this play in particular, I watched this play, and I was like, oh my god, G2 did not expect this play. You look at Exotic right here, he gets full first touch right there. Okay, fair enough, a dunk. You can expect that, that's fine, right? But if you notice Beast Mode's positioning that you're gonna see in a second here, he's trying to read this ball. He's right there, right? You see him right here. Okay, this ball's coming down. He's going to read this ball. They're fine. Atomic's over here. He's fine. I mean, like, Beast Mode's going to get this. Everyone's chilling. Exotic's still going. Exotic's still going. And he gets another touch on the ball to send it into the middle where Jolly's right there. Perfect positioning, and he scores. I mean, I was very impressed with Exotic. And I think Exotic, if he continues this kind of form, I said this to every team, BDS could be the best team in the world. They could win it all. You never know. They also get out of Swiss 3-1. So, good stuff for BDS. Now, this series, Falcons versus Vitality. I know I've said the other ones were good series, but this one was a very good series. Now, this play right here, it was a fake play from Falcons. Roaz hitting it to TRK hitting in the middle. Kalir's right there, scores it right there. Beautiful play. I love seeing passing plays like this. I mean, they're just so satisfying to watch, especially when you get all three players involved just like that. Beautiful stuff with that. He had a lot of power on the 124 kph. Almost looked like a purple shot or something. I don't know. But Falcons were cooking. Falcons were cooking this series. And I believe, do I have another clip? I have another clip for them right here. Now, game 3 right here. Very close game right here. Vitality looking to extend, not even extend their lead, to actually just gain a lead in this series, make it 2-1. But Falcons were fighting back. Falcons did not want to lose this game. They kept on going. Rawaz into the air. TRK tries to get a touch. He fakes it out. Khalir's is there to score. Oh my god. 1-1 right here. Go heading into overtime. That fake, they did not expect the fake. Surely TRK called that. And Khalir's able to score that. And guess what? I believe, yeah, Khalir's able to score right here as well. TRK, a slight little touch right there. Khalir's 50-50 into the net. A little bit of a dunk. A little bit of a cheese play. But it goes in right there. And Falcons are able to take this series, I think, 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. And what a result for them. What a result. They beat KC yesterday. They lose to Gentlemates earlier today. Just Gentlemates Masterclass. And then they beat Vitality. I mean, talk about the EU gauntlet right there. What a result for them. Now, this series, this is probably the most unique series that we saw today. Power versus Rule 1. The loser of this goes home. They're eliminated. Nupo absolutely popping off this whole series. Especially towards the end. But, like, the total goals scored in this game, in this series, I should say, I believe Power scored 8 goals this whole series. Nupo himself scored 7 goals. Can you imagine that? I think by this game, before this game ended, Nupo scored more goals than Power did the whole entire series. He, I hate to say stuff like this because I love Ahmed, I love Khalid. But the reality is, I saw a lot of people posting the meme with the, it's a basketball player, no help meme. Nupo was kind of 1v3ing at times. Now, it wasn't a full 1v3. I think in game 5, Khalid stepped up a little bit. He was icing up. He was scoring goals, getting some good saves. Ahmed at times did not look that bad. But the reality is Nupo is by far the best player on this team, in this whole entire lobby. And, I mean, he's looking like one of the best players, if not the best player from Mina. I mean, obviously you got TRK, Rawaz, Khalir's, but, like, Nupo, that's the big 4 from Mina, if you're talking about players. Some people say Nupo needs a better team. I'm not really sure. They did end up losing the series to Power. I believe it was in, game 5. They ended up losing the series. I think it was an OT, potentially, as well. But Nupo, a great player. But it did end up losing. And, I have high hopes for Nupo. Going forward. Now, let me try to scroll down here without spoiling. Okay, round 5. These were the results. Can you see anything? Wait, hold up. I need to scroll down more. Okay, these were the results right here. Obviously, KC winning, BDS winning, Falcons winning. Okay. Power right here. I think this was a perfect sweep. You can't really see it on the screen because of the crop, unfortunately, but perfect sweep for Cole. Actually, wait, if I do this, hold on. Did I spoil anything? Okay, I don't think I spoiled anything, but if you look right here, perfect sweep for them, fair play, and then Luminosity being OG. Fair enough. I mean, what can you say? But, alright. Next round matches, round 5. G2 versus Power. Some people said that Power actually have a pretty good chance in this series, and I can't lie, heading into that match, I mean, Power looking pretty good before, beating Rule 1, G2 coming off a loss. Anything could happen. Vitality, Luminosity, I mean, surely, surely, I mean, Luminosity not looking their best, trying to reverse sweep the Swiss bracket, but can they really win that? I guess we'll see. GenG Complexity. Could be a close match. Now, I'll be honest. I'm going to tell you the results of 2 of these matches. 2 of these matches weren't that crazy. We're not that crazy. GenG Complexity, 3-1 win for GenG. It was a 3-1 win for GenG. Complexity didn't look too bad, but unfortunately for them, GenG actually kind of clicked. FK looking like a great player. Chronic looked really good. Jack honestly kind of being a little bit the glue of the team, looking solid as well. And honestly, it's a good play. It's a good performance from GenG, and they make it into the top A bracket for NA, looking good. G2, perfect swept not Pioneers, they perfect swept power. So, okay, wow, okay, they make it through, good stuff. Vitality, Luminosity. Now, also, I think these are the results I have right here. G2 power, perfect sweep, GG complexity, close series, but yeah. Vitality, Luminosity, the match of the day. By far the best series. You can argue maybe not the best series, but the game quality, maybe. Like, but by far the most exciting series of the day. Pure cinema. I mean, you look at the title. Did Vitality not make top 8? The world champions not making top 8? Game 1, masterclass from Vitality. I mean, the reality is this game 1, a lot of mistakes from Luminosity. They look pretty lost on the field. It kind of felt like they just weren't locked in. They felt like, okay, this is a warm-up game. They're trying out some stuff. It's not working out. Okay, we need a better shooting. We just something's off. Okay, that's fine. Vitality take the first game. All right, 1-0. Best of 5. We got time left. Game 2. Now I don't know if Raw Greg said something crazy to them. I don't know if they just locked in. Game 2 was extremely different. Now, I like this play right here. Look at this Magic Bear right here. Look at that pass from Magic Bear. Redo's right there to shoot it. Game 2, they started linking up really well, especially Redos and Magic Bear. I feel like Redos and Magic Bear, I mean, they've been teammates for so long, but something about this game in particular, and maybe even later on in the series, they just kept on linking up. They just kept on finding each other on the pitch. Whether it was Redos to Magic Bear, Magic to Redos, they were just literally just doing everything. And now, it wasn't like absolutely everything. Cheese, of course. I think Cheese had a great performance as well. I think at times Cheese looks like the best player on this team. But today in particular, it was really like, I gotta say, Magic Bear, in my opinion, was the MVP for Luminosity. Because I think Magic Bear is one of those kind of players, right? That if he's playing well, the team usually does well. If he's not playing too well, the team usually does not do that well. Sometimes there's certain players, it doesn't really matter how they're performing, it matters about other players more. But Magic Bear is a very big difference maker on this team. Because usually you kind of can expect what you get from Cheese, mechanical player. Usually just score a lot, has some good defense as well. Reddles, a big disruptor, a lot of demos, a lot of bumps. Very annoying player to play against. But Magic Bear, on his day, is extremely mechanical. But he also has good defense, and he's also a good shooter. And, he has all the accolades, all of the skill sets needed to be the best player in the world. But it's very hard to reach that peak, especially when you're playing against literally what many people consider the best player in the world, Zen. But this game, they cooked. I mean, I'm talking for a couple of minutes here. They already have 4 goals this game. They cooked. I think she scored a goal as well at the end here. Oh, wait, this was a funny play. This play we have to look at. There were so many demos that happened. Magic Bear demoed, then he got demoed. Redos gets a demo. He goes for a bump on Redozen here. Redozen bumps Redos, but because of the demo that Redozen got, he actually got ricocheted back and was able to score the goal, or Cheese was able to score the goal because of that. It was just a demo derby right here. But Luminosity take game 2. I think it was 5-2 in the end, or something like that. Okay. Game 3. Game 3 could have gone either way. Game 3 went to OT. It was a lot of chances from both sides. I think Vitality had a lot of shots this game. I kind of forget. But it was good defense from both sides overall. No one took any crazy risk, in my opinion, this game. But it all comes down to OT and who has the ice. And, we were saying before, Zen, is he still the best player in the game? A lot of people saying he's not anymore, but when you look at a play like this, flip reset right there, Luminosity can't defend it. They just can't defend that. And Zen, I mean, when he's looking like this, when he's confident, it is so hard to stop him. A revolutionary player he is. And Vitality take game 3, 1-0. Now game 4, was actually very similar to game 2. Very similar to game 2. With Luminosity just cooking. Luminosity just cooking. And the thing about like this game and game 2 in particular, they just capitalized on every mistake Vitality made. You look at this overcommit, right? I think Zen was on the other side. I think Alpha was not in a good position. Actually, Radosin was in a bad position. I think Alpha tried to get back, but they're just capitalizing on everything. I mean, you look at the snipe from Cheese as well. I mean, you gotta respect this snipe. Look at this. Whew. And then Magic Bear finishing it for him. I mean, fair play at Luminosity, fair play. I mean, able to win this game as well. I think the same scoreline 5-2 against literally the previous world champions. I mean, fair play to them. Now, game 5. So people, a lot of NA fans were really scared before these matches happened round 5. They were like, oh no, we're gonna have no NA teams in the top 8. But hey, at this point already, G2 already made top 8. GenG already made top 8. It was just up to Luminosity if they were going to eliminate Vitality and be the third NA team to make top 8. Now, game 5. Game 5. You know, a minute 40, no goal scored. No goal scored. And I think another goal doesn't get scored for like almost a minute here. And both teams tried. Both teams have tried really hard. Cheese, nice save right there. Magic were able to clear it away. And I'm gonna be honest, I was at work during this, right? I was at work. I was looking at my phone occasionally, getting some notifications about, you know, ooh, it went to game 5, you know, crazy stuff happening. And I'm a big Luminosity fan. I think Cheese, one of my favorite players. Redo's been one of my favorite players for years. Magic Bear, the GOAT, come on. I was getting a lot of notifications about this series, and I had no idea what was happening. I was so scared. The thing is, right, if Luminosity defeat the world champions, that is truly one of the greatest upsets, maybe in RLCS history. Because a lot of people were doubting Luminosity. I mean, a lot of people had them going 1-3, maybe 2-3. I had them top 8. It was tough to say how they were going to do, right? Whereas Vitality, I mean, come on. Defending world champs. Surely they make at least top 8, right? And they were able to score here, making it 1-0, 54 seconds left. Okay. They got a little bit of a demo there. Cheese, not the best 50 for him. Radosin, Alpha kind of stealing. But, you know, okay. 54 seconds, a lot of time left. 54 seconds? You know what can happen in 54 seconds? Anything can happen. Now, Cheese in the air. Can you get the flip resize? Not gonna get a flip resize. He gets a little 50 right there. But MB, a little bit scary touch. You gotta be careful here. Okay. Can we capitalize on Vitality's mistake? Cheese gotta be very careful here. Gets a save, but it's in an awkward position. Not able to get the second save, unfortunately. Okay. They're down by 2, 34 seconds left. It's not over, though. Despite what you might think, it's not over. It's not over. I mean, when you're Luminosity right now, I mean, you gotta think about the nerves. Right? You gotta think about the nerves, the pressure. 34 seconds left against what was the best team in the world. And you can get a crazy upset here. Crazy upset. Everyone doubted Luminosity, especially non-NA believers. Wait, what? Oh. Okay, well. Yeah. Vitality did win this. Vitality did win this series, and they didn't make top 8. Unfortunate way to end, you know. Unfortunate way to end. But for Luminosity, honestly, I was very proud of them. You know, they were down 0-2 in Swiss. You know, they played against Limitless. Okay, free win there, maybe. They played against OG, one of their biggest rivals in NA, a team that they lose to quite often. And they beat them. And then playing against Vitality here. Bring it to game 5. Showing that, hey, NA is not too shabby. You know, NA, maybe not at her peak, but listen. We still got something to show. And I was really proud of Luminosity here. Making it to game 5, making it to round 5. Fair play to them. But with that loss, Vitality did make top 8. And then the bracket, I'm going to show you guys. Insane. Absolutely insane. So, okay. Tomorrow, I believe it starts at like 12 p.m. Eastern, something like that. I have to check, but Genomates GenG, okay. KC Falcons, round 1. Wow, okay. FURIA Vitality, ooh, okay, that could be interesting. And BDSG2, rematch of the World Championship twice, actually. 21-22, they lost to them in the finals. 22-23, they lost to them, I think, in this position, exact position, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what's going to happen? You can get 4 EU teams in the top 4, which will be kind of sad if that happens, but, it might happen. You can get FURIA in the top 4 and Falcons in the top 4. That'll be sick. You can have 2 NA teams and a SAM and a MENA team in top 4. There's literally infinite possibilities here. Infinite possibilities. If Gentlemates, Falcons, and BDS make top 4, then you have literally 5 MENA players in the top 4 with Itachi and Jirali. There's so many interesting things that can happen. Imagine a FURIA Falcons final. That would be insane. Imagine a GenG versus G2 grand final. I asked on Twitter, who do you guys have making top 4? I had a lot of different opinions. We got Genomates, KC, Vitality, BDS. Yeah, GenG, Falcons, FURIA, G2. Yeah, G2, FURIA, KC, Genomates. Okay. Might be the most evenly matched top 8. A lot of different opinions here. A lot of different opinions. But honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm an NA fan at heart. I'm also a MENA fan. So, I hope they cook. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what truly goes on. But yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow to recap day 3. Today was super exciting. I think tomorrow is going to be some of the best Rocket League we've ever seen. So I'll see you guys then. Take care, everyone.